Under the sun, the bastard son will pop the clock to feed himself and family.
This is it. Verbose.xyz. We have entered the planet ultimately. Here we are. Another beautiful Wednesday. Thank God it's Wednesday. I'm really feeling the Mercury energy in the air today. I wore my lucky green shirt today, and I didn't prepare for this at all. On the horn tonight, Miles Loward, being myself, Crafter, aka Black Magic Mike.
Hey.
Black Magic Mike. You're totally black, not Black Killer Mike, Black Magic Mike.
Black Magic Mike.
I just want the world to know that his dick run hot. Yeah, man. I think last week I started off by saying vagina. This week, fuck that shit. I'm going to say penis.
Penis is the new vagina. If you guys haven't heard, penis is the new vagina.
You heard it here first. Verbose.xyz. Dantos the Mutilator in the house, riding shotgun in the chat. You want to hang out with us, he'll get our attention. And yeah, also Dantos, you want to add people to this shit, please, by all means. We do enjoy the banter. Bro, so like speaking of memes, you know, I was scanning across something and it turns out that did you hear the shit? Fucking R. Kelly went on a public interview recently on CBS.
And he was like crying or something and saying, I don't know why people would accuse me of raping girls when there's all these videos of me raping young girls.
What's with all these people making fake videos of R. Kelly like peeing on bitches and talking about how they're 14 and shit?
Yeah, what's up with R. Kelly impersonators wanting to make videos of having, intercourse with underage girls? I don't know why R. Kelly impersonators just love doing this. It's like,
is that a go ahead.
It's just like, it's crazy, It's like just like the Michael Jackson impersonators used to do this. It's impossible, like.
And yeah, that wasn't Macaulay Culkin that one time. You know what I mean? Maybe it's some sort of like lolicon role play.
Yeah.
Fucking, they have a couple themes. They got the hentai theme, they got the fucking Michael Jackson theme, they got the R. Kelly golden shower theme. You feel me?
Yeah.
Well, R. Kelly always peeing people. Yeah, he is. Pee and the poo. Let me get some pee. Let me get some poo.
Yeah, that was a classic. I mean, Dave Chappelle skit. It's crazy that things like a decade old, and some reason like they're still discussing. Did he rape these women? Or like he did something to him. He's a weirdo. He's a fucking weirdo.
I mean, with all the evidence and like actual video of R. Kelly, despite the idea that they might be impersonators, fucking everything that dropped Bill Cosby was basically word of mouth, and like circumstantial and like putting the pieces together. Fucking, and that bitch in prison, loving it, loving every minute of it. So yeah. I hear.
Yeah, he said he's not sorry about it at all. Like he feels no guilt.
So he just gets this vacation where the state gets to take care of him. I guess that's cool.
And that's where R. Kelly's headed. And then like, it's just crazy. The first case, the first time it got videotaped and Dave Chappelle made that skit, like R. Kelly was acquitted based on the fact he said it wasn't him on the tape. And then the girl said it wasn't her on the tape. And by that alone, they're like, oh, well, I guess it's not them on the tape. Like, it's baffling.
Wow.
Like, wouldn't that be great if like some guy who robbed a convenience store would be like, nope, that's not me. Like,
I think you could probably do that. You think?
Yeah.
Just like, nah, that wasn't me. Take the fucking Shaggy approach. But we caught you on camera. Wasn't me. Heard the words that I told you. Wasn't me.
Caught me banging on the bathroom floor. Wasn't me.
Wasn't me, dude. Exactly. Yeah. And that wasn't me who peed on her and told her to tell me that she's 14 and it's 14-year-old pussy repeatedly. Yeah. That's allegedly what he was doing in the video. It's fucking creepy, man.
Yeah.
But I think Alex Jones recently brought up a good point with the elite.
Word Alex Jones.
Word up to Alex Jones. If you out there, we love you. I don't care that you're a Zionist show. We love you anyways. But the thing is with the elites, and I think he makes a good point, is that fucking they're the type of people that want to get some dirt on you. So if they ever need to take you out, they got that picture of you with the 14-year-old. They got those fucking sext messages that you texted that one time. They got like pictures of you fucking a goat and shit. And when you fucking go AWOL, bro, that shit getting released.
Yeah, or like Anthony Weiner and pictures of his wiener, and just bring him up because he's getting out of prison real soon. So word to Anthony Weiner.
Fuck you, Anthony Weiner, you fucking dick. That was pun not intended, but fucking another one of those like elite, New York money. Is Anthony Weiner Jewish?
I would say so. Yeah, I mean, I would say he's a circumcised wiener.
What the fuck? Dude, uncircumcised for life. I don't give a fuck what you say.
Dockside.
Yeah, exactly. The true docking.
But yeah, the Illuminati loves these kind of things. It's like they put people in power that have these weird perversions and obsessions for because it's like hardcore dirt. It's like real stuff that'll ruin lives. Not like, oh, this guy underreported on his taxes.
This guy, he once jerked off to tranny porn. Although I've seen that. Alex Jones has been accused of that. Shout out to Alex Jones.
He might, and I mean, I'm not going to judge him for that alone. I mean,
Yeah, no, if he wants to fucking get down on trannies, it's cool, whatever. It's probably because all the atrazine in the water. It's not his fault,
Yeah.
But when in Rome, do you give credence to any of that, like chemicals in the water, or like teratogens being released into the environment, creating more illness?
I would definitely say it's happening. I mean, completely if it's purposeful, I don't know. Like they used to think like getting rid of motor oil was like just dump it on the ground, or like here in New Mexico, another great example is how they treated jet fuel and stored it in these great underground tanks that were leaking, and they poisoned the groundwater, and now there's massive lawsuits.
Yeah, isn't that like seeping into Bernalillo County water supply? It's supposed to be like, I think 5 years ago they were saying 8, like all water supplies in the area will be affected.
So I mean, some of that stuff was not really intentional. They just had no foresight.
Yeah, I feel that. I mean, I remember being a kid and my dad changed the oil in his car, and he would take the pan of oil and he would pour it down anthills.
Yeah.
To like fuck up the anthills, right? The crazy thing about that is like that lawn has always had problems growing grass. Gee, I wonder why.
You're putting spent, carbons and motor oil. That could definitely be good for the environment. It's natural. It came from the ground. Throw it back in.
Right? Only the best processes. We just removed everything from it. Fuck it, Fuck it. If you find cheaper pussy.
Fuck it.
Boy. Fucking. Yeah, so fucking. I'm still on the DDR kick. Still there. And there's this song, man. I'm obsessed with it. And I think I'm kind of slightly turning into a weeb. Which sucks.
Sounds like it. I'm getting scared. The weebiness is increasing.
I know, bro. I know. Before we started tonight, I was like looking for that song. I can't find it. I seriously can't find it. I was going to do it for the intro. But then I thought about it and the serendipitous nature of not finding it. And it kind of seemed to me that maybe, we would have been projecting something we might not want to,
Maybe it's something that you're supposed to experience on a personal level.
Right. I'm hoping not to experience it past anything, baseline. I go there and those kids hover around me, man. They have watched me go from basic to hard and like starting to complete them and shit. And they're not friendly, dude. It's like there's like one or two guys. There's a guy from Arizona and there's this one guy from New Mexico that seem pretty nice in the community. The rest of them, they have a competitive air about them. It's all about being the best. And I'm going in there and fucking just like not even holding on to the rail and just going crazy and more of an exercise than anything else. Bro, I'm sorry. Dantos, I'm sorry. I know. This is hard to hear.
You're telling me, DDR community, and to me, I hear cult. I hear that you're joining a cult, a weeaboo cult of DDR fanatics that, probably worship Konami or whoever the fuck makes the game.
It is Konami, actually. And you heard me half right. I'm not joining a cult. The cult would not accept me. I'm an outsider.
Yeah,
I think I'm a threat to their cause.
I think it's just the hazing, like it's like you're a freshman, and this is pledge week.
Fuck you, dude. Right? Seriously. And they stand pretty close and watch what I'm doing too, which is interesting. It makes me nervous and I fuck shit up. Plus the new placement of the cabinets are right next to each other. I should have taken the one closer to the entrance because I think the sound is louder on it, or the speakers come out in a certain way. But regardless, their sound reverberates on me and it fucks with me. Maybe I just need to get good.
I mean, isn't that the standard setup of DDR machines? I mean, I'm not the DDR expert here because I'm not into Weeby.
Usually they're back to back. Usually they're back to back.
Usually, not really. Like every time I see them, like on a TV show, they're always right next to each other.
I guess that's true, but back to back is the shit. Yeah, Dance Dance Revolution, Dantos. That's been my fucking workout plan for the past week and a half, I guess you could say. It all started with hanging out at Round One and realizing the arcade had DDR.
Like, okay, it's not bad, but it's not good. It's not good. Like, there's other games there. There's Tekken, there's Street Fighter. There's like real games you could play here, and you're wasting life on on DDR.
Dude, it's a serious workout. Like, I leave there sweating.
Man, that's the cult. That's the cult.
Dude, what? And yeah, I think in our community Valhalla gameplays, we're dealing with way more weebdom than me playing DDR. And I'm seriously, I promise you out there in TV watching land, I'm only doing it for exercise. And it's fun. I'm not doing it for the music. I'm not doing it for the weebness. Fuck Japan. We already bombed them twice.
If I like see you next week and you have a pillow wife, like if you have a waifu, I'm gonna have to smack you, man. I'm gonna have to ban you from DDR.
Bro, I'll tell you, if that does happen, you can literally shoot me.
And burn your pillow. I'm gonna burn your pillow. It's gonna be a hate crime against pillow women, like for real.
That's good. That's good. But I have this weird feeling that you would keep it.
Maybe the pieces of it. Maybe it's boob parts.
Just like fucking piece the boob parts together, all like charred and shit.
Yeah, just its skin. I just want to keep the skin.
Oh yeah. Holy shit. I opened OBS like an hour ago and it just opened. I don't know what the fuck just happened.
That's pretty awesome.
Is that awesome?
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, there we go. There's a window. Borrow M's, M has a body pillow? He has a body pillow, but I don't think he has a fucking, I don't think he has a waifu,
But
pillow cover.
Does he have an active imagination? And what is the pillow's name?
That I don't know. I was never close to him while he whispered in his sleep.
Man.
But I would imagine it's something like, kawaii or something.
I feel like we need a public health crisis for, young adolescents that decided that fucking pillows is better than banging whores.
It's a worldwide epidemic, too. It's just as bad in Asian countries. Like, they totally have given up on getting with chicks, It's this idea of, like, depression is cool. It's like 80s, but nerdier and more pathetic.
Like, can't you just be, like, depressed, but, like, still smash?
That was the 80s, right?
Yeah.
I dig that. Like, Morrissey depressed is cool. You know what I mean? I'm not saying Morrissey is cool or anything, but, it's more productive than, like, I'm just going to sit here and, like, rot in my space because this is how I feel. Fucking feelings are killing me, man. Like, I think people need to, like, ignore their feelings a little bit.
Yeah. I was watching some Tim Pool on Joe Rogan, and I love his little analogy, about the snowflakes turning into an avalanche. Like
yeah, totally.
That we're on the cusp of a really scary dystopian Orwellian thing based on feelings and word crime. And it's like all the snowflakes are turning into an avalanche.
I definitely didn't finish that podcast. You're referring to the one with Jack Dorsey and what's her name, Vidya, or
yeah, the Twitter chick.
Yeah, the Twitter
The
lawyer chick,
the Twitter lawyer
basically.
chick. Yeah, and I
Mm.
mean, and Tim Pool. I mean, I don't really like the
Tim
guy.
Pool.
I'm always trying to destroy the guy, but I mean, he was just on point. He just fucked them up. Like
Mm.
he asked if
I,
the direct questions about like the Southern Poverty Law Center, if they took advice from them, that how many times they've destroyed people's like careers and images over like just accusations without any little proof at all. And like it was amazing. Like he's like like they're like, oh, that's not what we're doing. He's like, no, I know what you're doing and I'm terrified of it.
right, exactly. And he did more than Joe Rogan did both times. I feel like even the second time around, I didn't complete the interview. I probably watched an hour and a half of it, but even this time, like he did kind of hone in on some questions, but he ragged on ones that were already softball. And what I was most impressed with was Tim Pool's like total ferocity and like courage to like not give up. Like, listen, I see what angle you're coming at. I see the social engineering. I see your intentions here. And we're supposed to just trust in your research that you keep referring to. This seems crazy, And I feel like Jack Dorsey had a lot of fucking work to do to make himself seem normal when faced with these ideas of like, holy shit, people are like on to us.
And I mean, I felt like Jack Dorsey said something very like clear and like kind of to the point about like technology companies. He said, "We're not trying to do what is right. We're trying to show people what we're doing."
Indeed.
And so like that's a pretty big statement, that like you can't rely on these companies to be neutral just because or fit in your opinion, that they're going to go after their own agenda.
Indeed. The crazy thing is, though, and I think Tim Pool makes a good point of this, is that they've created a public space, So what? This is a private public space? And I guess the argument from Twitter side is, well, you can always go somewhere else. And you have to sign our terms of service. But I did find it interesting and kind of humanizing of Jack Dorsey that he was very interested in these ideas and very interested in what seemed like this genuine idea of implementing some of the ideas that the other side has to offer, like actually lending an ear to the idea that if you kind of allow all spectrums of the political voice to be heard, it becomes the true vision of what you're looking for, which is that pure conversation.
Yeah. Like back in the day on TV shows, you would always see that little message, like the views expressed in this program, are not shared by the broadcaster or something like that. Like, wouldn't like a disclaimer on Twitter or Facebook just be enough to cover something like that? Like, the views expressed on these pages do not reflect the Facebook's company belief or something like that. Like, this is independent, this is user created. Like, isn't that enough just to avoid legal liability? I would say, like TV shows get away with that. Other media broadcasts get away with that.
Right? I mean,
like
and
putting the blame like for racist views, like, well, you're helping spread racist views. No, humanity helps spread racist views. Like you can't just hide it under the rug. You can't sweep it under like, oh well, digital communication can't have racist tone in it. It's like humanity has a racist tone. Like you can't just ignore it and expect it to go away.
yeah, totally. And there's better models. I mean, look at not Twitter. Look at Reddit. Reddit leaves the terms of services essentially to the individual groups or subreddits. So in that way, it's like, okay, we offer this free forum, and then you guys can regulate based on what you believe. That seems a lot more sound to me.
Then it would be easier for the companies to profit off of either side. It's easier for the companies to operate without worrying about always complying to a whim of ideas like something. Oh, this is anti-Semitic. This is anti-Native American. This is anti-Black. This is like it's like a nonstop flood of complaints. Like you're gonna have to hire more and more people to handle them. Or you could just keep everything and tell everyone to deal with it, which is like the cheaper plan and the more honest plan.
Yeah, and I think the more lucrative plan too, if you just provide the platform without all the social engineering, boom, you're going to make money because everyone's going to use your shit. Don't you want everyone to use your shit? I mean, like, okay, you social score it. like I've been really thinking about this because this seems to be a thing that's happening, with the Chinese implementation of social score, and truly people not being able to travel because they've been banned due to like bad actions or social faux pas. With our involvement and entanglement in that here, and the rolling out of those kind of social scores, like how long will it be till like there's more people that are ostracized and can't travel and can't have the amenities than people that will? It'll be a small minority. And then those people who are already socially outcast anyways, what would keep them from violently retaliating against the people who have shunned them from their stupid digital world? That, or you go back to 1950 and it's like, fuck you guys, I'll just, make dinner and hang out and read a book or something.
I mean, that's a whole new scary situation too, the social in the program. But in their defense, like if people are going to do bad things, if they're going to break laws blatantly, if they're going to, do things against society norms, and then publicly broadcast that themselves, like don't you want that evidence? Don't you want that, like it's like Inglorious Bastards, like carving the swastika in the Nazi's head? Don't you want to leave that evidence? Like this guy said this and he can't take it off the internet ever. Don't you want that? Like this guy, you can tell his beliefs, and you can, and the people who side with him, you can judge them on that, because it's documented. But like to like sweep it under the rug or censor it, now they can deny things that they said or didn't say. There's no telling.
Well, I think this is where things get a little bit muddy, but there's also an answer at the end of the murky tunnel. Where it gets muddy is like AI generation of like faces or sounds, or like being really good at photo editors to create posts that people didn't say. I mean, there's literally a post out there by Andrew Breitbart, half an hour before he died, saying like, one of these days someone's going to kill me and say it's a heart attack. And people believe that shit. You know what I mean? But what the answer is to like these ideas of like the heaven and hell of being able to record everything, but also being able to replicate things that never happened, is blockchain. The idea that once something is said, or once something is done, or once something is created, it's constantly written, uneditable, within a ledger that can be seen by all, or can at least be never changed. It's always there, solidified. That I think is the best way to go for, online communications and what would you say, true transparency. Like, okay, we truly know how you felt then and how you feel now, because unedited, unabridged, boom, here it is. Like we could pull this shit up. And if we're gonna go there, yeah.
And it's with the blockchain example. I mean, that gets scary because there has been malicious intent. With like child pornography being encoded directly into the blockchain that's unable to be removed from forever now.
Yeah, I was thinking about that today, actually, how fucked up that is. But what I was also thinking about that is like, if you can compare the blockchain to society, right? Like the blockchain, like society has pedophiles in it, right?
Yeah.
But is society as a whole bad?
As a whole, I would say everyone would agree that no, as a whole.
Okay, so the blockchain has child porn on it, right? But the blockchain consists of so much more, so much more information than just that. Is the blockchain bad?
And then there's the whole way to interpret it. Like, was it placed there by people who enjoyed that type of thing, or was it placed there by people like that were attempting to troll or attempting to prove a point, or I mean, it's so hard to tell.
Right. I feel like it could go either way. There's a lot of people who would exact fear and uncertain doom upon anything Bitcoin, wanting to see it fail, especially fiat currency holders such as big governments and special interest and big business,
Yeah, I mean, if just one guy came up with the idea, maybe he was hoping for the downfall of the blockchain.
But no, it continues on, and there's so many more blockchains. And they're not all shit, but most of them are. But they're fun. Shitcoins are fun. Don't let it deter you. I'm telling you, kids.
Yeah, crypto is a great place to go to. Don't throw too much money at it, but time is valuable, and crypto is a good trade.
Yeah. And I'd say if you wanted to throw any money at it, do it in a way that you're like using your power to do so. Just fucking try to acquire it through mining somehow. It's fun. And stick to those fucking crypto night algorithms because CPU mineable. I'm building myself a little burly rig right now. I'm so excited. This fucking motherboard accepts upwards of Broadwell. We're talking, what is it? 2699A, 22 core, 55 megabyte L3 cache. This thing's beastly. Well, the CPU it could take is beastly. All the way down to like a 4 core, 1.6 gigahertz V3.
V3. That's
V.
and for mining, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, to have 55 megabytes of L3 cache for CPU mining, that is pretty ridiculous. I would say at 25, you would probably be getting around, what was it? Like, I want to say 1.2. I want to say total for two CPUs would be like 3.6 on like 25 apiece. So yeah. So yeah, you're talking about like 3.6 to 4 kilohash. Wait, maybe more. Hold on. I wonder what my actual cache is on this. I'm talking shit right now. I don't even know. Because this is modern generation shit. This is fucking.
What do you think of people who say that mining is a waste of electricity?
I mean, I don't know. I think there's way worse ways to. I think there's way worse ways to waste your electricity.
But you agree it would be a waste?
No. I'd say be smart about it, you know. But if you have the money to invest in something like that and you buy the right equipment, no, I wouldn't. I'd say it's not a waste of energy. I'd say put your energy into it. People that say don't do that, they're wrong. You know, all the infrastructure that creates the internet is all based on data centers. Even the cloud is just a data center somewhere else. And what they divvy out to you is, you know, pieces of that you get an inkling of what is there. But I'd say that, and I've only heard this, I don't think I've read this, that like streaming services would probably take more energy than any sort of mining operation. Well, with the exception of some like ridiculous Russian outfit. but
yeah, I mean,
but still do it, you know?
And definitely, I would agree. Like the streaming services use a huge amount of power. I mean, when you query a server, how many other servers have to respond before getting the movie you want, before serving that, you know, at 1080p? I mean, it's a huge amount of power wasted. I mean, there's transcoding involved. There's your computer's power wasted at the same time. I mean, and then just like normal web pages nowadays. I mean, like an average website is like 8 megabytes on load. I mean, and that's a huge power drain as well compared to just the power usage from 5 to 10 years ago.
Wow, indeed.
So I mean, mining, you know, might use like, oh well, you're wasting power, you know, computing towards nothing. But I mean, like, it's like proof of work is the idea, is the algorithm name, and the real purpose. You know, is you have to put in work for earning.
Indeed. I think a better model would be that we all sacrifice a bit of our hashing power towards a blockchain. Like you can designate which one it is and you just hash towards it a little bit. Like the more people that are doing it, the less need we have for like big outfits, right? Of course that doesn't work for like Bitcoin because at this point, like they're being hashed at like upwards of what, like 4 or 15 terahash. That's so ridiculous, man.
I believe it's the world's most powerful supercomputer ever created, is the Bitcoin network. If you could somehow compute data across that, you know, SHA-256 hash, you know, it'd be more hashing power than has anything.
Imagine if you retrofitted like an S, you know, what is it, an S11 or S12 or is it S15 that's the latest Antminer? Yeah. It's like the 15 terahash.
Yeah, they have a S15, like a T15, a whole bunch of really, really fast things.
Imagine if you threw that at like a password. a SHA-256 like hashed password. How quickly like you could fucking it's like I got the answer.
Yeah, they say like every Windows password is crackable under 2 hours nowadays. Like every Windows password, like with a GPU rig with like 5 GPUs, like a mining rig, you can crack passwords super fast. I guess now.
Wow. Shout out to Hashcat. Look up that shit on GitHub. That would be your key to kind of I don't know, testing that out. And obviously, I think you would need what is it? Not CUDA, OpenCL. What is that shit?
Yeah, OpenCL.
Or is it CUDA?
CUDA for NVIDIA, OpenCL for AMD.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I think the example I saw on CUDA. Shout out to Computer File. Those British motherfuckers know what they're talking about. But yeah, fucking crazy. I don't know. I mean, all in all, I think that we're kidding ourselves going like some sort of green route. I think that we've kind of opened up a Pandora's box. And at this point, it would be really hard as a society to go back to this idea of like, let's be more simpler and more green. I'm not saying don't explore alternative energies. And obviously we want to move towards that. But I also don't think that we should keep ourselves back from like pumping into the machine. Give yourself to the machine.
And I think the machine is what it's like really everyone's scared of. Like even AOC up there, trying to say we have to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and stuff in her green ridiculous plan. But I mean, like how are you going to do that if you're not going to say no to the oil and gas companies? If you're not going to step up to Exxon or Mobil, I mean, or Texaco or whoever the hell exists now. I'm not even sure.
That's the thing that pisses me off about modern government, and I'm going to say this, I guess modern left, is that we punish the people. It's like all these good ideas, good intentions, and yada yada, and you do this out of like, how you want to see the best for humanity. But why are we projecting this on our neighbors? Why aren't we projecting this on people like Exxon Mobil? Why aren't we projecting this on people like Monsanto? Why aren't we like targeting out the Koch brothers? Why does it have to be us? Why do we have to regulate? Why can't we regulate the business that is tyrannical and controlling our lives?
Yeah, Republicans believe in like trickle down economics, and Democrats believe in trickle up social movement.
Right? We'll just take from the people, and the social, our ideas will move upward. They'll travel uphill, and then eventually the elite will conform because they see how much of good boys and girls are being.
Yeah,
it blows my mind.
Because like we need social programs. How are we going to pay for this? We need to raise your taxes to pay for it. And everyone's like, yeah, of course, that's how we can get it. It's like, no, you could tax the fucking corporations finally. Like, what the fuck, man?
Right. Although I can't hate on AOC as far as like trolldom is concerned. She is definitely the left's version of Donald Trump. Very.
I mean, she's not a reality star. She was never on a WWE Royal Rumble. She never said you're fired to someone. So I mean,
That's true, but she just she has a presence about her. Like she's wild. She's out there. She's got those like crazed like Nazi leftist eyes.
She does. She does.
She just she says really crazy things like maybe this isn't a good time to like have kids. Like I think that people can agree with that sentiment, but if you hear a politician saying that, it seems weird that the government is telling you something like don't have kids.
Yeah, but it's it's just all semantics. Like, I mean, is her personal beliefs, or is it her party's beliefs? And the same thing could be said about Trump. Is everything he said shared by the party? I mean, I would say obviously not.
Yeah, I would definitely say not. And I'd say that after his CPAC event, things are looking a lot different. What blows my mind, bro, is like I stumble upon these Jewish like Zionist conspiracies, and then all of a sudden fucking all these things come to light. And part of me thinks is like, am I just seeing this now because I stepped into a fucking rabbit hole that I didn't expect to go down, or was this like serendipitous that I start studying this at the same time that it just fucking all shows its hand? But like the idea that, you know, he ran on lessening immigration, making these rules more strict, creating a physical border barrier between us and Mexico, and creating more jobs and opportunities for the Americans that are here. And then at CPAC talking about, like, you know, well, I know I ran on this idea, but we're going to need workers for all the industry that we're creating. So, you know, we're going to bring people in legally, like kind of changing his tune. It's the same idea, but it's just like a different spin on it. And it doesn't feel like border wall, make America great. I thought it was also very interesting that there was a lot of pro-Israel stuff there, including make Israel great again, or I think the hat literally said "Build Israel great again." What do you give any credence to, like, Trump changing his tune so that he can enact World War III in the apocalypse?
I would say it's a possibility, and I know that sounds crazy, but everything I think kind of points to that idea that, like, there's this kind of conspiracy of religious nut jobs that are trying to bring on the apocalypse, and like it includes a lot of the state of Israel and the people who are running it, and a lot of foreign entities, the Bush family, like I mean like the whole little speech that George W. Bush gave to Tony Blair about having to go into Iraq to stop Gog going into Magog, which is like this old Hebrew legend, and George, his father, having the nickname Magog, in the Skull and Bones, like it's all these references to like stopping the Jews from entering certain places and all these other weird things. Like it's this really weird conspiracy like about the end times and stuff like that, and it's like it's shared through a lot of the elite, and even like like the Bohemian Grove worship of Moloch and stuff like that. Like it speaks of like a older conspiracy mixture of multiple religions, but heavily Jewish, heavily Jewish Torah influenced.
Shout out to Dantos with this comment, by the way. Keep gay Israel. I agree. The gay is real. The gay Israel. My bad. But I feel like, yes, this is definitely where it points, and there's a lot of evidence out there, and you even see it with Trump now. But I feel like I don't know whether they believe it or they're going along with a script that's been put into place as a tool, as a social construct that's been passed on from generations, elite to elite, that they use this as their final plan to control us and essentially get rid of us. Not necessarily that they believe that the Mashiach is coming or that Messiah is coming or Muhammad's coming back, because it all seems to converge with these three Abrahamic religions, but that they are using this because so many people believe and so many people resonate with these Abrahamic religions that then they could turn all of us against each other, creating a crazy religious-based war, reducing the populations by billions. Could you say?
I would say that, yeah, that's the goal, kind of like to create supernatural looking events to excuse the loss of millions or billions of people at once.
I would. You brought up a really cool point the other night in chat, fucking talking about the interpretation of Hebrew and the idea that it uses numerology to hide secret messages and interpretations and things like that. And I feel like one of those interpretations is the third temple. There's a sect of Hasidic Jews that believe that you must rebuild the third temple for Mashiach to come. And there's another that believes that it's going to descend from the sky. And I feel like that's a great example of the interpretation that one gives to it, But that one sect over another, I should say, that gives to that. But the craziest idea of them all is the motherfucker that created a VR or an online-based first-person adventure game, I guess you could say, as well as a holographic recreation of the third temple that would be projected from a blimp. That to me sounds like some fucking Like that's going to be the coming of the Antichrist, right? Like Jared Kushner is going to sign a peace deal with fucking between Israel and Palestine, and then all of a sudden there's going to be a blue projected fucking hologram third temple that like leads you to this virtual reality world of Mashiach and living out the end days.
Or even just like it's an even smaller view, like just hoping it would trigger like a Palestinian response so that they could, further, encroach on their space,
You mean cleanse?
further cleanse, or if they don't do it, like false flag yourself, do the temple, blow up, something yourself, and then blame Palestine and invade anyway, like the trying to trigger like a response, especially on religious grounds. I would say that's the way you try to incite a war.
Right. This sounds so fucking familiar. It sounds like somewhere in Europe somewhere. Sounds like some Deutschland shit. You know what I mean? Just funny.
Yeah, it
It's
seems
funny
like
how we don't.
they learned from the playbook. They learned exactly.
Right? Aren't you supposed to be like learn from mistakes, but like not repeat them?
But it seems that they are on fast track to consider themselves superior and an ethno state.
They truly do have an ethno state. I wonder, would Palestine be considered an ethno state?
Probably, yeah. They're all Palestinian there.
Indeed.
There's
Yeah,
not, there's not, there's not many immigrants, I'm sure. Like, not many people are like, oh yeah, I just moved here from Jordan, just didn't get bombed over there, so I thought I'd come here to experience that.
Right. Didn't get to roll enough flaming tires there. I figured we'd have a ye old grand time here.
Or like I snuck in from Egypt because I was just tired of pyramids and wanted to see some terrorism.
It's bisexual in Egypt. Straight Palestine.
Straight Palestine. The gay Israel.
The gay Israel. Truly. It's fucking deep, bro. That is fucking deep. You said you were going to do it, too. You said you were going to jump into the conspiracy theory, and I'm very happy you are.
Yeah, it's happening. It's happening. The Illuminati are attempting to take over the world. It's happening.
And we're seeing it real time, and that's the cool thing, I think. We live in very interesting times. We get to see this, basically broadcast. I guess the revolution is televised.
Yeah, or at least broadcast on Twitch.
Got he. Truly. It truly is. Oh my god.
Yeah, word to Twitch. 6 weeks in, no ban. Word to Twitch.
Yeah, super appreciate you, Twitch. Also, shout out to BitChute. If you're watching this, later on, thank you. Glad you caught us there. Yeah. Also, check us out on DTube, Verbose.xyz on DTube. At BitChute, I'm just hosting it through my Miles Low Road user. Also, if you've never checked out the stream before, hit us up, www.twitch.tv/verbose_xyz. We do this every Wednesday. Why do we do it on Wednesdays? Well, Crafter would tell you just because that's when we do it. I would tell you because, Mercury, the energy of communication is in the air. It's electric. It's palpable. I can feel it.
I would say it's what the fuck Wednesday, so why the fuck not?
Word up. Fucking, yeah, I don't know, man. I've also been kind of following this Comey shit. James Comey. Do you think James Comey's a liar?
I mean, a professional liar, yes.
Yeah, I didn't realize he's Trump's lawyer, and he decided to testify against him basically after he didn't get into the White House.
Are you talking about Cohen?
Yeah, Michael Cohen. That's it. I'm sorry.
I mean, Comey is also a professional liar. That's the FBI guy, right?
Oh, right.
Yeah, but I mean, something with Cohen. I for some reason I believe Cohen. I believe Cohen's testimony to Congress. I don't know why. Like, I just don't see how lying would benefit him anymore now.
Has Roger Stone testified yet?
Oh, no, but he's been subpoenaed, and he's also looks like he's going to be charged for re-releasing his autobiography with a whole page, like talking about the case and everything, even though he was like silenced by the judge. So he might be held in contempt.
Oh right, yeah, he had a straight up gag order. He hasn't been on. He usually does the War Room on Infowars, and he hasn't been on in like fucking 4 weeks since he was shouted down in public
Yeah.
announcing his arrest.
But I mean, he's an evil-looking guy. He really does. The hair doesn't look real. Like it looks like sewed on. He could be a lizard. I don't know.
I mean, for real, dude. And he lives in Florida, so he needs that warm weather 24/7. And have you ever seen his Have you ever seen his mannerisms?
I mean,
Like he's very Muppet like, and he like uses his hand forward, and he has these very specific gestures. It's like animatronic almost.
I mean, he's the one responsible for like Trump's like political strategy, which Roger Stone himself called attack, 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 and never defend. Like
Mhm.
you just attack. You never defend an accusation. You never talk about it. You just continue to attack, and you can see that happening with all these accusations. It's just there's never a public discussion. There's no transparency. It's even if he didn't do anything, it's kind of sad. Like you're gonna have to investigate me. You're gonna have to fucking get everything. You have to dig deep. Like it sucks.
Yeah, I feel like Trump's whole campaign team was really smart. I mean, early on, and I want to say early 2016, he went on Alex Jones' show. I mean, at that moment, everything changed. It was at that very moment, like it was palpable that it was like, oh, we went from apolitical to straight up Trump right. Like, and then as it's unraveled, it's so strange to see Alex Jones kind of hold on to it, but at the same token, be faced to look at Trump objectively and see shit that's actually happening. That's like, ah, fuck. CPAC was kind of disappointing to me. I feel like if you're a Trumper and you're one of those guys that's like that hates never Trumpers or whatever, that's got to be a low blow. Thinking like all you really wanted was sovereignty, all you really wanted was border security. Like
Yeah.
if he would have fulfilled that one goal, I think that would have really solidified it.
Like the only thing really going for Trump currently is that he said he'd bring jobs back, and we're currently at the lowest unemployment rate probably since they started recording it. But I mean, can anyone link one Trump policy directly responsible for that? I mean, no one can probably link Obama policy that's responsible for that either. So I don't know.
That's interesting. I did see on Politico a chart of like um, jobs that were encouraged to come back. I'm not sure how that happened though. With Trump though, I definitely know that a portion of the jobs coming back were due to lessening of EPA regulations. So,
But I feel like that's the only kind of campaign promise that could be argued was kept. I mean, obviously, from the day of his election to today, the job situation in the country has only improved. So I mean, it is something. So I mean, his re-election is possible, but
mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
mean, with Hillary no longer running, is it enough to get like enough pull to any leftist who runs? Which it looks like they're going far left, which I feel is scarier. Like the drastic shift in policy, like it's like trying to rock a boat back and forth. Like you could flip it.
Right. I want to see Trump again for 2020. I think that he's mostly well, okay, wait. I'm taking that back right now actually. If it was old Trump, like Trump 6 months ago, a year ago, like I'd be like, yeah, give me another 4 years of Trump. But this whole idea of like going back on pulling out of Syria, like selling nukes to Saudi Arabia, or at least deals and talks about it, and solidifying weird shit in Israel that looks similar to uh, making Jared Kushner Mashiach and enacting the return of possibly the Antichrist.
And biggest aid package to Israel in history went out just this week, $3.7 billion.
Wow, that's the wall. That's your wall right there, straight to Israel. And Israel has a wall and an ethno state. I bet there's some Trumpers out there that are super jealous of Israel, or maybe even further than that. That's like that's the template, right? That's the goal.
I mean, I would like to make, when we read this back and Twitch listens to this, I would like to make clear then that Palestine is terrorist infested shithole. I'm not just saying Israel's to blame here, but good God, like the level of technology, the level of accuracy, the level of brutality is just crazy from Israeli side.
Right. And, people are people, man. Like, I don't hate on Palestine. You know what I mean? I think that we should all be treated like humans at the end of the day. And I think that one atrocity doesn't excuse another for sure, but I don't blame Palestine for defending themselves by any means, but they do harbor terrorists, and fucking you see a lot of connections to that, and like Al Qaeda, Al Nusra.
And the general problem with Islam, which they honor murderers. They call them martyrs, and they honor murderers. People who've killed, like 30, 40 people at once in bombing stuff. They consider like heroes, and that's insanity. Like I understand if it's a military operation, targeted strikes, and you can even consider a soldier a hero for being able to take out his target. But if innocents are involved in that, you're just a fucking monster now. I feel like everyone kind of agrees with that.
Yeah, and the concept of taqiyya, the idea that you can lie to someone that's not of Islam so that to influence them in the way that you want, or towards Islam, or for the greater good of Islam. Like you're encouraged to lie. Fucking crazy.
So I mean, like, I definitely don't want to defend and say, like Muslims or Palestine has it right either. I mean, they both seem just like batshit crazy extremists.
Oh yeah, and not to mention the fucking Christians. Okay.
Oh God, now we're gonna throw them in there. Good God, those fuckers.
Well, it's all the Abrahamic religions. They're all doing it right now, and that's why I think it's such a crazy. It's such a crazy playing field where like all of everything's coming into place like properly, and it's all centered around these three religions, and it's just set up so perfectly for like the fall of humanity.
I mean, Christians, by far, of all the Abrahamic religions, follow their book the least. They read it a lot. They follow it the least.
I mean, yeah. And I think Christians have it right with the whole Jesus thing. It's just the only thing they really follow from the Jesus thing is that like now that we have a new Jesus book, the old book doesn't matter. That's the only one that they really follow. The old book are stories and whatever. And
I
then
would
the
say
new
like
book, this is the right one.
Yeah, and then like I would say in the Bible, like the Jesus's words, the red writing, which they say was Jesus's words, direct quoted by the apostles or whatever. I mean, I would say those statements are pretty logical and infallible, and like and like telling tales and metaphors and of stories like what you sow is what you receive and all those things. Like I feel it's knowledge. It's not like really polarizing in any way. Like those passages. But the rest of the Bible gets really weird, which is just a whole bunch of letters passed back and forth between priests after the death of this Christ. Like it's weird that they're still honored the same, like it was all written by God, when the history is obvious and written about and documented, but they don't want to know that part.
No, and that's the other thing too, like the whole like turn the other cheek shit, and like do unto others as we would that others do unto us. These things are like not practiced,
But those were the statements that like everyone, like, you're like, okay, yeah, I'm not against a religion that preaches that. You're not allowed to hurt people. You're not allowed to steal things. Even when someone hurts you, you're not allowed to retaliate. Like your life is to suffer, is to be persecuted against for your goodness.
Right. Exactly.
Like
the meek shall inherit the earth kind of shape.
To like like literally like the big thing in the 90s was what would Jesus do? It would to live a good life and suffer and die and be tortured for it. Like that's what he did.
God damn, bro. What an example. Jesus, if I met Jesus, I'd be like, bro, I got this sage.
Yeah. And I'm not saying like I know this, happened in fact. I'm saying in the story, this is what happened in the story. And so I mean,
Yeah.
in the story, it's a pretty insane story. This guy just gets murdered, and they just let some rapist out because this guy tried to change how God was worshipped. and pretty much challenged their power style. You know, like they were using the church to rule over everybody. You know, he questioned the way people related to God, and they're like, "No, fuck you, kill this guy."
Are you the son of God?
Like it's a story of like power and corruption and government, and you know, and this guy just trying to tell you, "Nah, man, you could just chill and sit around and eat fish. God's everywhere." You know, like they murdered him for it. You know?
Right. And then he's all like, they're like, "Are you the son of God?" And he's all like, "I am."
Yeah.
And they torture him more and more, and he can't lie, bro. He has to say that he is, because he is. It's fucking crazy. A great story, you know what I mean? But it begs the question: who's more real, Muhammad or Jesus?
Yeah. And then, like, even I don't know, Muhammad or Jesus. I mean, Muhammad existed. He was a historical figure.
That's what I'm asking. Yeah.
But there's no real documentation that Jesus existed besides the Bible and the Torah, like the Abrahamic things, the Dead Sea Scrolls being the oldest example. There's no other historical document. The Christians love to say there was, oh, he was brought to he left Bethlehem so he could be in the census, so they could have a documentation the first year he was born. Like, no, that didn't happen. There's no fucking Jesus of Nazareth on any fucking thing. Like,
Oh, that's right, dude. Like around Christmas, they talk about that with the nativity and shit, like
yeah.
that they left for a census or whatever.
Yeah. But no,
Ain't that some
it's just a
shit?
story. Like there's no historical documentation of Jesus or Jesus being crucified or any of these things.
Doesn't it recognize, historical figures too?
Definitely.
What's Caesar? Give unto Caesar that which is Caesar's. What Caesar was that?
And I also subscribe to this kind of conspiracy theory of stolen history, where there's a large section of history that's been extended, like the Middle Ages, the Dark Ages. Like that was a very shorter period. It wasn't hundreds of years. It was only probably a couple decades.
You think?
And how history's been kind of rewritten to try to hide the origins of these religions.
Interesting. I don't know. The Mayans would disagree with you, saying that generations consisted of longer periods of time in the past, and as time progresses, generations become shorter and shorter.
But I mean, like, if we went by Roman time, how Romans kept track by year, we'd only be in year 912 or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 912 AUC, like after the founding of the Roman Empire.
Oh, god damn. So we're going off some sort of Jesus time?
Yeah, Jesus time.
Is the sky cake a lie?
It could be. It could be. It's the sky cake dodge, the old classic sky cake dodge.
Yeah, it sounds like snake oil, my dude. It just sounds so reminiscent.
Yeah, because back in the day, big dude come in, he'd just like take anything he wants. Give me that meat. Give me that woman. I fuck her in the ass now. You can't do anything. You're small. Blah blah. Just smashing everything. Because he's a big ripped dude. He's probably like 7 foot, look like Shaq. You just fuck everything. What are you gonna do about it? Like you're a little dude. So I mean, one of them, he just thought, and he's like, hey, you can keep doing this, but if you rape and murder people and steal things, you're gonna go to a bad place, and you don't get sky cake after you die. And he's like, what? I fucking love cake. I don't get any fucking special sky cake. And he's like, yeah, man. So if you don't do this shit, then you get in. And he's like, okay. And he's like, fuck yeah. And then he just outsmarted him, got to fuck the hot bitches, got to eat the good food, and this guy just stopped doing it because of sky cake. The old sky cake dodge.
Damn. So the Dead Sea Scrolls is actually the evolution of the first incels into actually mating with women. They got to a point where they weren't getting laid, but then they got so smart and they inscribed all of their thoughts. They developed sky cake, fed it to the masses, and then took over all of society. Wow. The cake is a lie, my friend.
The cake is a lie.
The cake is a lie.
There's no sky cake.
Sorry to burst your bubble out there, but
it's sky baklava, motherfucker. Allah Akbar.
Allah Akbar. God is great. God is great. Hail victory.
Motherfucking sky baklava, motherfucker. What are you talking about? Sky cake. Fucking blasphemous. Fucking infidel.
Infidel.
I heard the truth. Muhammad told me it's baklava.
The truth of the matter, though, is God made men. God made man.
Yeah.
But Sam Colt made him equal.
Yeah. And like like you say, my Father who art in heaven, like isn't everyone the son of God by definition? Like, who's your father? Oh, that guy, son of God, bro. What up? Like.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially if you like accept him into your heart, then you are God.
I mean, I was young and immature, and I used to go to some Bible camps, and like I couldn't help but giggle inside whenever like accept him into your heart. You're like, well, how's he gonna get in there? Like through my ass.
I was so sensitive as a kid and so gullible to that. Like in 4th grade, I went to a Baptist school, and prior to that, I was in a Catholic school. And in Catholicism, there's no concept of being saved. It's like you're all damned. You'll be lucky to get to purgatory, but we're all damned, right? That's Catholicism. But then to go from that to like straight up semi-evangelistic Southern Baptist school, learning in class that like you won't go to heaven unless you accept Jesus into your heart. And I remember that fateful day, accepting Jesus into my heart and walking over to my 4th grade teacher with tears in my eyes saying, "Ma'am, I accepted Jesus into my heart." And fucking when I went home and told my parents all excited that night, my dad fucking laughed in my face like, "Oh my God, you bought that bullshit? Kid, don't worry about that shit. We're just sending you to the school because it's a good one." And it was not. But ignore the saving stuff. The cake is a lie.
Wait, so there's nothing about your butthole hurting in this story?
No, it's a Baptist story, not a Catholic story.
Fuck, man, I got a different ceremony than you, man. I got a different ceremony. I gotta tell you. Word to the Catholic Church.
He accepted Jesus into his heart.
And my anus.
Through his anus. But I wouldn't imagine Catholic priests have large cocks.
I don't know. I'm not Catholic, but good God, Catholics.
Right? You guys got it wrong, man. Like, you went all symbolism and then harbored everything. Like, it's funny how you could look out at the landscape of what's going on in the world and you can just see all these different apocalyptic situations. And with the Catholic Church, it's like this black church Satanist effigy takeover mixed with like child sacrifice and human consumption. Definitely sodomy. It's just gross, dude. And all the popes lately, look, how many popes have we gone through in the past 10 years? I feel like it's 3. When I was a kid, there was 1. There was Pope John Paul II, I think it was.
Yeah, that was it.
And he was awesome. He rode around his Pope mobile. Everybody loved him, and
he protected child rapists.
Oh yeah, there's that.
Oof.
Fucking for real.
Big oof. It's a big oof.
Yeah, I guess that's the problem with all popes.
Yeah, and supposedly, I mean, if you're into conspiracies, again, the popes, this is supposedly the last one. The last pope.
Like ever? Like he's not ever going to die, or there's just never going to be a pope again?
Yeah, like it's the end of the Catholic Church after him. It's the apocalypse, man.
No way.
There was some priest, like way back in the day, who predicted all the future popes, and this is the last one.
No way.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. You talk about Catholic things, and I will get you it.
Yeah, please. I mean, the Catholic Church is very interesting to me. I was confirmed in the Catholic Church, so I went hard. But I was even in choir. I never got a dick in my ass, or I never sucked a dick in my life. I never saw anything like that. And the people that I met in the Catholic Church were really positive. Even like the guy that the confirmation priest, Father Scott, I'll never forget him. He was just like kind of a man's man, and like no bullshit. Like, I don't know, a strong individual. He seemed like he was one with his craft, but also one with the people. Definitely, he didn't give me the pedophile vibe. But shit was weird then, man. Shit was weird.
Okay, so I found it. It's called The Prophecy of the Popes.
Okay.
I'll send you a link. It's a Wikipedia article. And then if you scroll all the way down to the second, we're in the 111th Pope, and there's only 112. And it says, Peter the Roman, who will pasture sheep in many tribulations, and when things are finished, the city of 7 hills will be destroyed, and the dreadful judge will judge his people. The end. So, like, this is the last normal Pope. The next one is the Pope who, like, oversees the end of the world.
That's crazy. Wait a minute. So, holy shit. So, okay. Peter the Roman. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Peter the Roman, who will pasture his sheep in many tribulations.
Well, never mind that he is. Sorry, I misinterpreted. He is the 112th currently, because Pope Benedict, the Nazi Pope, was the 111th, Glory of the Olive. So the current one is the 112th, Peter the Roman.
Huh.
At least that's the prediction. That's the prophecy from way back in the day.
Glory of the Olive.
Anyone into conspiracies, check that out. Especially when you're talking about apocalypse, Illuminati, temples being built. Alex Jones trying to warn you.
Yeah, Alex Jones trying to warn you, but I don't know if he's warning you about everything. He's giving you one perspective, right? He's giving you one doomsday scenario, but I think there's more out there that should be focused on. I think there's a bigger picture that is all in. It's much like religion. If you look at all religions as a whole, it gives you a big picture on like the idea of God and society and social control. The same could be, what the fuck? The same could be said about like, fuck, I lost my train of thought. God damn it, I tried not to. It hurt.
It hurt. It's okay.
The brain just exploded. Ugh.
Goddamn popes.
Yeah, religion bad.
Religion bad. Orange Man. On the fence. On the fence on Orange Man.
I'm moving from Orange Man to Orange Man bad slightly. I don't know. I didn't vote for him in 2016. I don't know if I'd vote for him at all, but I definitely don't. I haven't wished him like any ill harm until now. I don't feel like I would want him on his current policies to run again.
Yeah, I don't feel he was ever qualified for the job.
That being said, if you keep a certain trajectory and a certain path, not being qualified for the job is perfect for what we want you for. Is the people's stooge. Get in there, fucking cause some shit, be boisterous, fucking talk about building a wall, and bring jobs back to America and shit, and work on sovereignty. Like, you do that, you're fulfilling your promise to the people. Otherwise, you're not, and you're changing up. You're a Democrat in Republicans' clothing, and now you're changing up so that you can get that vote for 2020. It's the same thing, basically. He's running on the same ticket that Bill Clinton did, but in reverse. Clinton running as a Democrat, putting himself out there as this, for the people.
A reverse Bill Clinton. Who's shoving their cigar up Trump's asshole? That's the real question. That's the real question, too. I'm asking questions that matter. The reverse Clinton. So that means you're getting a cigar shoved up at you, right?
The fucking reverse Clinton. That's awesome. Yeah, I guess so. Who would be? Oh my god. I don't know. I can't say it's Jared Kushner because Jared Kushner is pure. He is the Mashiach. And it wouldn't be his son, although it happened to Jimmy Kimmel on the Eric Andre show, so who knows?
Gooch tickles.
Goochsicles? Fucking Goochsicles. But fucking, I wouldn't vote for Trump in 2020. No fucking way. I like Starbucks guy. He seems interesting.
So what could Trump do today to make you vote for him? Anything open to anything. Just what would he have to do for you to be like, you know what, this guy, he deserves 4 more years?
America first. Stay out of foreign policy for your second term. Work on trade deals with Mexico that could harbor money for what could be conflated as paying for the wall. I'd say, I don't know, stay out of war. focus on jobs in America and fucking drain the swamp, man. Get and just kind of ride the wave of all of this litigation. Like, you're obviously here, you're doing it. You keep doing you, putting a halt to government, and America will prosper for it. That way we can fucking brace ourselves and save up for the future to come, because when shit swings, it's going to be hard, you know? Save up, fucking save your boxes of ammo and your fucking gold storage and your water filters and your storable food, my dudes, because shit could go crazy. I almost would love to see like a Bernie Beto presidency in 2020, just so that like we don't have to have 8 years of like kind of a stalemate, that people aren't ready for like a radical change. Whereas if we see kind of a big shift and then watch the Senate, the Republican controlled Senate, kind of face up against, do kind of that seizure against a super socialist agenda, like it'd be kind of the same lockup seizure that you're seeing with Trump, you know, more media and litigation than necessarily policies passed that affect us. What's going on in the state levels is fucking me up more than anything. I mean, especially in New Mexico, god damn. Like, the idea that we'd have to pay, you know, for person-to-person sales, now you have to do background checks. $35 straight to the gov. Boom, there you go. Seems like a tax on the good, a tax on the lawful. I want to see less of that kind of shit and more kind of like freedom for the people, you know, solidifying communities, making things good, making America truly great, not foreign interest, and definitely not paying back to people that aren't willing to work.
Yeah. Like, isn't it weird, especially you're talking about guns, that the Trump administration has overseen more, you know, gun seizure initiatives like bump stocks and initiatives in states without a federal government saying anything than Obama's administration ever did? Isn't that already weird?
So that's so fucking weird, man. And
Like,
it's true.
they thought he was going to stand up for gun rights, but they've kind of just, it's not an issue.
Yeah, exactly. And anything they've kind of, any sort of cookies they've thrown out there have been towards the left, like banning bump stocks. You know, bump stocks aren't that important. Let's just ban them. No one's going to really care. This is going to really affect my agenda. You know, this is going to really affect my public appearance. We noticed, motherfucker. And we see what you're doing in Saudi Arabia too, bitch.
Yeah, like, I mean, I would say, like, if slippery slope applies to everything in politics, that would say be the same for bump stocks. I know they were used for some, you know, a horrible massacre, that, you know, that still is kind of iffy and they don't want to release details on, but um, it's just a weird thing to do and try to it's just like a political, you know, like, I don't know, giveaway. It's like a political ploy. Like, oh, we're gonna ban these things so no one can ever use them again, and it's like it's just like trying to get political points. They don't really care about the massacre. They don't really care about, you know, what happened. Obviously, they don't want to talk about it. Even with, you know, like 200, 300 injured, they just don't want to release that information.
That's weird. So fucking strange, man. The things that are hidden from us too, you know. Don't you feel like every piece of technology that's released to us has a back door?
Definitely, hard coded in.
Do you think that at the highest level of development there exists models of similar to technology that's owned consumer wide that doesn't have these back doors?
I mean, no. I think the only other option is getting a backdoor from another agency, like going with Chinese parts and stuff like that. So you know, you'll be backdoored by the Chinese government, but not the U.S. government.
I see what you mean. So there's not a single chip in existence that's not coded in such a way that exists backdoors.
Exactly. I would say there's hardware level backdoors to any processor available on the market to consumers.
What about ARM?
Yes, definitely ARM.
Fuck. What's the latest exploit? It's not Spectre. It's something else.
Spitfire or something.
Okay. Fucking the last one was crazy. Hyper-threading. You know, that's a household name. People know all about that hyper-threading. Guess what? If you're running that shit, you're exploitable. Just saying.
But I mean, there's other exploits that you know, are impossible to change, and they're not are really, you know, documented on a vulnerabilities page. But in the NSA documents, those PRISM documents, they talked about air gapping and using like a CPU's native frequency to like intercept processes and stuff like that, and be able to do that from like outside someone's house, or putting like a single transmitter on the red of RGB cable, and being able to recreate the screen just on the red images alone, and using like a radar gun to transmit for miles, like really really weird things that they don't use like in consumer markets.
That's fucking crazy. That just brings me back to like um, the the radio frequency, or I'm sorry, not radio frequency, fucking radar frequency brain control shit. You know what I mean? Like being able to project sounds off someone's skull so that they hear things in their brain. You know, and all of the sleeper cells out there, fucking. What do you think about that? We're like Timothy McVeigh. Did he do that on his own, or was he like a plant of some sort by the CIA or FBI?
I believe that he was definitely motivated. He wanted to do it. He sought out help. He happened to run into one helper and one FBI agent, and the FBI agent taught him how to make a bomb big enough.
Fucking crazy. Why did the FBI agent give him that information? I mean, it seems like he would be involved in that. He would want it to happen.
Like I think they wanted like kind of like with the whole idea of like a false flag, but not false, like a real flag. So then you can crack down on militias, get more funding for espionage on these groups, tap phone lines, all these things, just so to justify existence.
Interesting. The Bundys almost went down like that, but like a kind of a Waco thing, don't you think? It's fucking crazy how.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and all of them found not guilty. Like how
hmm,
do they escape all those charges?
Right? Seriously.
It's almost like a weird example that's opposite of what you'd expect.
Yeah, exactly. Like Waco went down in flames, man, and that was a similar standoff.
Yeah, and that was even crazier because they were kind of religious nuts. Not
Yeah,
just
that's true, actually.
they weren't just about like Second Amendment and rights. That was part of their religious nuttery.
Yeah, right. Wasn't there some like kid stuff going on too that was weird?
Yeah, they had a lot of children that were out of school and stuff. They said they were being homeschooled there, and they wouldn't release them. Like so. I mean that's a whole weird situation too. That really adds
Hmm.
on to it. It's not just some militia group.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Some like Heaven's Gate shit.
But when you try to rescue children, you usually don't bring tanks. So I don't know.
Tanks?
Yeah,
Yeah, you
you
don't.
use tanks.
Um, you use them to run over kids in Tiananmen Square.
Yeah, that's even crazier too. Like there's like estimate like 10,000 to 30,000 deaths at Tiananmen Square that day. Like just ran over
Fuck, dude.
just thousands of people, ran them over, gunned them down. Like
Oh my god, dude, that's so crazy. You ever think about like what it would feel like to get run over
by a
by a
tank.
tank?
Like
Yeah,
hopefully it's my head, like otherwise like I'm squirming around like stuck to the pavement like in agony. Good God.
like literally stuck to the pavement, like one with the pavement.
Yeah,
So when people say freedom isn't free, nah, you pay for freedom with blood.
blood,
Lots of it.
lots of blood,
Yeah. Shout
and
out to our forefathers.
yeah, but not George Washington because he was a bitch.
Was he?
I don't know,
How was
maybe
George
not.
Washington a bitch?
Oh, okay, maybe I'm just a little angry. Like I read this article that George Washington owned 10 slaves like when he was like 11 years old, and then he continued to buy slaves, and then like he'd have to move them. He'd take them with him, like 150 slaves to Philadelphia. Like because that was when he was president. That's where the capital was, and the president's quarters or whatever the fuck it was called at that time. So he'd move there, but then he'd make them all move every 6 months, because like if you were in Philadelphia or Pennsylvania for more than 6 months, you could like file to be a free slave. So they would move them out just so he could keep them. Like just so much like really like dick shit. Like what an asshole.
Huh. Interesting.
Like he was leading a nation that he didn't really hold the same beliefs about slavery that all his peers did.
Hmm.
Like it was an
He
issue right at formation.
he was an elite right off the bat.
Yeah, he inherited slaves from his father.
Well, in a sense, wasn't George Washington just a figurehead, anyways? I mean, like, when you think of America and the founding of America, you think of like Thomas Jefferson and like Benjamin Franklin, who was never president but amazing.
True,
You
and
know,
Benjamin Franklin didn't own slaves, so
he did not.
no.
Oh wow, interesting.
But
Shout out
Thomas
to
Jefferson did, but he banged him, so that that's cool.
that's cool. That fucking Key and Peele skit where it's like every black person on the fucking that DNA testing thing. What is that called? Ancestry.com.
Yeah,
They all go back to fucking Thomas Jefferson.
yeah, like that guy was fucking, man. That guy was like, I'm gonna try all these out.
Right? Like it was the sex bot of the 1700s.
Yeah, so I mean, it's rapey too. So I mean, I don't know. That's weird too. Yeah, yeah. Fuck Thomas Jefferson. Fuck that guy. That guy was raping black women. That's what he was doing.
Right? He's a reverse Bill Cosby.
Yeah. So Ben Franklin, you're cool. Fuck you,
Yeah.
George Washington. Fuck you, Thomas
Yeah.
Jefferson.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
yeah, we're
You guys are dicks. You guys do no
got-
longer fit the social narrative.
Fuck. Wrecked.
Bird. Oh
Burn.
god. I don't even know what to think about that. Like in some ways it tugs at my heartstrings just saying it. In other ways I'm like, that's fucking ridiculous. Like no, we're just gonna ignore part of our history and not talk about it. Take him off the dollar, replace him with like Obama or something. Like I don't know. Like that sounds just as ridiculous. Sounds just
Fucking
as
rip down
ridiculous.
all the statues,
Yeah,
take down, all of the take all of the depictions off the money, fucking change it up.
yeah,
Nah, fucking how about reparations? How
yeah.
much
I like reparations. I like reparations. I'm all for it.
all right, let me hear it.
I believe every like person who like every slave who was freed and was owed reparations should be paid now. So their families will inherit those estates. 40 acres and a mule. That's what you get. Maybe it's in Montana, maybe in Idaho, maybe in Nevada desert. I don't know where your 40 acres is, but we could divide some up.
Hmm. Do we have enough land for that?
I would say so. Like you're not talking about like every black person alive now. You're talking about every freed slave. So I mean, you're talking maybe like like 10% to 20% of current black population probably.
Oh, I see. So it'd be kind of like black reservations.
I mean, they wouldn't have to live there. They could sell the land. They could fucking rent the land. They could develop it. They could just hold on to it. They could do whatever the fuck they want with it. But it's like it's owing that promise that like they're going to own part of this country. It's
Huh.
their choice what they do with it.
I like that, and that kind of touches on something Thomas Jefferson says about the idea of power and property being inextricable. So, like, yeah, fucking that creates an equal playing field, right? If people who are African American feel that they are marginalized past the power of a white man, once owning property on such a scale, it kind of, I mean, logistically evens the playing field. I
Yeah.
like that.
Like if you have whole territories owned, by black people, I mean, and like, wouldn't that improve their situation, improve their power? I mean, they could rent it to corporations, they could turn it into property, they could make their own cities. I mean, it's all up to them.
They could do like that A coin and fucking use the whole space to mine crypto.
Like, unfortunately, like I mean, that was written in some kind of contract. 40 acres and a mule. That was promised.
Yeah, fucking fulfill that promise. I say 40 acres and
I mean,
40 acres and a mule to every family.
I mean, there was a lot of things promised to like the Indians and stuff. It's about the reservations, and the Americans backtracked on it and failed, and then they got sued in court. And then like Obama had the largest settlement ever in history, like $970 billion to like all the tribes for reimbursement of these violations of this contract of the treaty. So I mean, like, it's either that idea. It's like you can give them the land. It didn't say where the land was in America, just in America, or you can pay the money of that land is worth. So you might as well give them the land.
Right. That I feel like that population's been poisoned so hard though. Like the effects of alcohol on indigenous populations is so sad.
Yeah, but they accepted $970 billion in settlement for it. So I mean, legally, wipe your hands. we did everything we could. You guys agreed to. This was enough.
Wow. Wow, dude.
So legally, I mean,
That's
the tribes have no, further grievance with the U.S. government.
right. Seriously. I mean, if the government could step in on any population to create social change, why not in an area that's suffering like that? Like the native populations and fucking reservations.
I mean, yeah, I know people without running water. Like in 2019, they've still never had running water their entire life. Like entire life. Like, it's baffling.
That's fucking crazy, man. In America, dude.
In America,
That's
like they lived less than like 3 miles from me, like across the interstate, like across a highway. I had running water and toilet. They had an outhouse. Like that's ridiculous, right?
wow, dude. Fuck. You ever shit in an outhouse before?
Fuck no, man. I'm not fucking doing that shit. I don't want to get bitten by something or a splinter in my asshole. Fuck no.
In Alaska, that's all you use, man. Fucking, except they usually use that like foam insulation and cut a hole in it so it's nice and squishy.
I'd buy one of those compostable fucking toilets they put in RVs and put that shit in my house. Fuck that.
Yeah, word. I've seen some literal compostable toilets with like compost in them and stuff.
Like plumbing and sewage is the modern marvel that was way more important than electricity. Like hygiene is
Oh
is
yeah.
what saved humanity and allowed us
Oh
to
yeah.
grow to these numbers.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But don't you think we get to a point where we sterilize so far that now we are susceptible to more illness from our environment? Like shit just mutates and is gonna fuck us up. We got to keep like a certain level of bacteria on us.
I would say so, but I would also say that like the ones that we caused to mutate from all these will like fuck up India first, so we'll get a good warning. They're like the canary in the mine,
Whoa, the epidemiological canary in the mine.
When you see India bodies just start dropping, you guys better freak the fuck out. Like it's time to go.
Oh my god, dude. They are the petri dish, man. They drink straight out of the petri dish. It blows my mind. Fucking go to the Ganga, fucking take you up a fucking handful. Om gum ganapataye namaha. Boom. To the
Whoa,
head.
whoa, that was some shit with there. What was that you just said?
I said Om in the name of Ganapataye, who is Ganesh.
Oh damn.
But
And
that's
he stops you from getting like stomach infections from drinking piss water, right?
I mean, you could interpret it as such. He's the remover of obstacles. He also creates obstacles. So I don't know.
So he created
But
the piss water and purifies the piss water. That's cool.
yeah,
That's kind of cool, I
yeah,
guess. So like
yeah, man.
you could be drinking his pee, you'd not be. Depends how happy he is with you.
Right. It depends on whether you deserve it or not.
I guess that's awesome. Like assholes have to drink piss. Cool guys get good water. That's nice. That's the kind of nice.
But imagine being so like engulfed in a culture that's not yours, and then traveling there from America, living in the laps of luxury to the Ganga, and then like taking up a handful and drinking it, praying over it, hoping that believing rather that you're not gonna get sick from this shit.
God, I couldn't do it. Like if I went to India, I would just like shake my head and I'm going back to the hotel and I'm gonna like look at the squat toilet and be like, fuck this country, I'm out.
Bro, squatting and shitting is the best, dude. You should try it.
Nah,
It's
man.
amazing.
The
Dude,
Japanese
that's
way is the best way.
wait, Japanese way?
Yeah, with like really cool technology and like super toilets and like noises that distract you. Like that's the best way. It should be a shameful process.
Do they have a suicide button like on the toilets too? Like
Coming in 2020, after Trump's reelection.
yeah, it's like you have an option to distract you, to kill yourself, to wipe your ass with a bidet,
Yeah.
to kill you with a bidet. Wouldn't that be some shit? High velocity water up your ass.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And maybe that should be part of the reparations too. Everyone should get a bidet as well.
Everyone, like
Everyone
across the board.
across America. Like if there's a toilet, there should be a bidet.
Red and yellow, black and white. We will all get a bidet.
That's it. That's it.
George Washington loves all the little boys and little girls.
Yeah.
Bidets for everyone 2020. I would definitely say that. Fucking I had a good point, but I forgot. There's so much going on. It's all the aliens, man.
It's the aliens.
Fucking.
It's the aliens. It's either real aliens or fake aliens. I'm hoping for real, but take what you
I don't
get.
know. I think they're both real. I think one's just like, sky cakey, and then the other is like fucking simulation-y. The idea that either they're coming from dimensions through portals opened up by the elite, or that they're coming from the sky.
Is it more Mars Attacks, or more like Independence Day, or more like some kind of friendly aliens that want to come down and like chill and eat pizza, like a Ninja Turtles like scenario?
I would say it's more like that movie. What the fuck was that space movie thriller with fucking Lawrence Fishburne?
There was a space movie.
Yeah, it was it was a space movie with Lawrence Fishburne, and they open
like
up hell.
Event Horizon.
Ah, thank you. Yes, Event Horizon. So I think it's more like that, like technology bringing us to a point where we open up dimensions or portals or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't wait. Let me preface that. I think that that's what the elite are working towards. Not that I necessarily believe it, but I think that accounts of aliens kind of come from that idea, and things seen through those the lens of these tools, let's say, bringing them to a place of interdimensional communications. That's what Alex Jones would say. It sounds cool, so I like to repeat it. And shout out to Alex Jones. You ever want to come on the show, Alex Jones? PJW, you're welcome to. Fucking definitely own the Destroyer.
Yeah. Hit us up, Alex Jones. I got a lot of material. See, here, I'm Alex Jones. Donald Trump is building a Stargate to Mars to fight the Martians. The Illuminati is eating your babies.
Well, that was fucking good, dude.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
They're keeping babies alive, and they're selling their body parts. That seems to be true, though.
Yeah, I mean, young blood does help bodies heal faster. So I mean, like, if to kill a whole bunch of young people, drain them of their blood, and then inject it into old rich people, it would help the old rich people live longer and heal faster. So
what?
I'm sure it's happening.
What?
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Young blood is better than old blood.
And we forget about, we're saying all these crazy things about, like, the body parts and using them in rituals and sacrifices. But I think that the reality of it is there's a lot of stem cell action out there too, folks. Embryonic stem cells, come on now.
Yeah, and a lot of cloning and crazy shit going down. Like, Pandora's box was open a long time ago.
Right? That's so crazy, man. Like, the idea that we've already released species that cross into different genomes. Like that monkey that had some sort of jellyfish genes injected into it or, like, spliced into it. Did you ever see that thing?
No. What?
I gotta find that thing. Hold up. Oh god, I'm dropping things, my bad. Where the fuck is my mouse? This mouse is so heavy. I've been on my laptop for the past few weeks. And I've been, like, using my mouse on the couch, and it's super light. This one has weights in it and shit. It's all for gaming. But
what kind of awesome mouse is this? Can we get some product placement in here?
I got it from Walmart, so it's probably not that awesome.
Yeah. Word to Walmart, helping poor people since never. Thanks, dude.
Yeah, thanks for exploiting us and selling us Chinese goods. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. And you can't fucking pay us, like, double minimum wage, like, fucking rich as fuck. Come on.
I don't know.
Fuck you, Walmart.
They're not that bad, man. Like, they'll pay you $15 an hour and shit, and you'll have decent 401k.
They literally drug test people for that shit. Like,
I guess that's true.
Like, I can be high and fucking stock a shelf. Like, what the fuck, assholes? Come on.
Yeah, seriously, bro.
Like, if I'm stocking shelves, like, I should be high. Like, my life sucks, dude.
There it is, monkey jellyfish hybrid.
Apologies to all stockers who love their jobs, which are probably like 2 of them.
I don't know. I didn't mind stocking shelves. It's the worst things that you could do in your life.
Okay, one other one besides Miles.
But yeah, this is 2009. Fucking MIT Technology Review. Glowing monkey inherits jellyfish genes. Last month in Japan, a very special, what is this? Marmoset monkey A marmoset, my bad. Marmoset monkey was born. One was inherited from his parents, not only their marmoset DNA, but also a jellyfish gene from green fluorescent protein. So that's
damn.
GFP. That makes both the animal and his parents glow green under fluorescent light.
They're making fucking hybrids.
Yeah, dude, this is fucking 2009, man. This is crazy. I wonder if I can.
I mean, they cloned
I
a
can't
sheep
show.
like in '97. I mean, if they cloned a human like in 2000, that guy's still like 19 years old now. Like that guy's just walking around all clony.
But they've already. I mean,
Fuck, I
kind
might
of
be a
their
clone. I don't even know. How would I know?
I doubt you're a clone, bro. You were pumped out of the ball sack of your dad into your mom's vagina and then fucking C-sectioned out of your mother. No, you were live birth, weren't you?
No,
You
I got
were
cut out.
C-section?
I didn't want to come out here. This place sucks, bro.
Same. Dude, we both have foreskins and we were both C-sectioned out of our mothers. There you go.
That's scary.
That's the truth right there.
Yeah, sorry, Jews. I'm not welcome. I'm just goyim.
Yeah.
Just goyim.
Goyim for life, bitches. I want to get that tattooed, just so you know. When shit's going down in the apocalypse, you'll know. Goyim for life.
I hope you guys got a laugh.
When you're a clown, no one takes you seriously.
Yada yada yada.
Fuck. Well, I'm having fun tonight.
Yeah, it was
you
pretty
having
good.
Fun tonight?
Yeah, we're already like past hour and a half. Fucking.
Holy shit, dude.
Damn.
We held it down tonight. I want to thank all you folks for popping in and out. Hopefully you guys will catch this later. If you do, definitely hit us up. Verbose.xyz. We're on Twitch on Wednesdays. I almost said verbose.tv. That'd be cool. But no, twitch.tv/verbose_xyz. There'll be links in the descriptions, both on BitChute and DTube. Check us out there. I tried to upload to YouTube recently on the Miles Low Road account, and it rejected it right off the bat. It might be due to content. Their algorithms are pretty skookum, but we'll see. So maybe look out for us on YouTube. Also, if you're really, really cool, check us out on our website. That's verbose.xyz. If you go to verbose.xyz/mp3, you could literally download all of our podcasts there. As always, in MP3 format, so super small. Just fucking take that shit, keep it forever, share it with all your friends. You know, talk amongst yourself. A peanut is neither a pea nor a nut. I'm feeling verklempt right now. Shout out to fucking Alex Jones, the gay is real, straight Palestine, bisexual Egypt, and my man over here, fucking my balls was hot. We'll see you next Wednesday, and thanks for tuning in. Love you guys. Peace out.
Peace.